Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to GeekSpaceTV presents Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble, Episode 6. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, how are you? It is good to see your faces. It is lovely to see you all here. Welcome. We are the GeekSpaceTV, and we are a nonprofit based out of Seattle, where there is currently a snowpocalypse. But most of us are actually not in Seattle, so I think we're safe from the ravages of the elements.
I'm safe from it too. I'm not leaving my apartment for a week. It's going to be great.
So welcome in. We are a nonprofit, and our mission is to increase visibility and representation in geek and gaming spaces. And we do this through not only our Twitch shows, which are wonderful and we're really happy to have you here for, but also through our Discord, also YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the spaces. So what can you do to help us out if you would like? The best thing you can do is you can be here and watch our shows. We have Night Witches on Saturdays, we have Worlds Beyond on Wednesdays, and we also sometimes have Inklings, at the moment still do, on Mondays. So come and see our shows, be here, be with us in chat, say amazing things in chat about all of the stuff. In addition, you can do other things to help us out if you like. You can host the show on Twitch. You can share. There's a share button, which should probably be there. Down there somewhere. I think down there is the share button. So you can share out on Twitter to let people know about our show. You can also, if you like, you can subscribe here on Twitch. And if you have Amazon Prime, the subscription is free. You can subscribe to us on Patreon if you like. You can give us tips. If you give us tips, we will read out your message at the break and at the end of the show. And if you can also give us bits if you like. All of that said, today we're really excited to be playing episode 6 of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble. Night Witches is a game by Jason Morningstar of Bully Pulpit Press about World War II Soviet airwomen, and it's a historical game, so it's based on an actual regiment that did exist. And I'm very lucky to have some of the most amazing players with me for this show, and I would love for everyone to introduce themselves and tell us who you are and where we can find you. Let's start first off with Mac.
Hey guys, I am Mac Beauvais. Please excuse my sick voice today. I don't know, I've been told it's sexier and raspier this way. But I am an actor, model, cosplayer, and a tabletop gamer, kind of a little bit of everything that I can get my paws on. And you can find me just about everywhere online as @StrangeLikeThat.
Also, Mac is playing an android counselor on Happy Jacks.
Yes, every other Monday I'm in a Star Trek Adventures game. And yes, I do play a character called Trist, which is sort of for psychiatrist, who is an android and also the ship's counselor. So I logic them out of their mental quagmires.
And it's good because nobody wants to go to the counselor, but I think they solved that last session.
Oh yeah, everybody has to now. It's been mandated by the captain.
Excellent. Let's go to our next member of our crew, Maggie Crone.
Hey, you guys can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places on the internet. I do lots of tabletop stuff. You can check it out. And I think tomorrow I'm going to be doing like a Cupid's thing, which will be fun for Valentine's Day if you're interested in watching madness occur. But yeah, you can check out all that stuff.
And don't forget to watch her on Roll For It, where she is on Stargate Horizons.
That's tomorrow as well. Or, well, that's not tomorrow. Normally it's on Sundays, but we have somebody who can't make it, so we're swapping things up, and that's why we're doing our Valentine's Day episode that day.
Nice. Let's introduce our next cast member, who should be over there, Rocket Fox.
Hey everyone, I'm Rocket Fox, and I am an illustrator, gamer, cosplayer, speaker, storyteller, purveyor of many activities. You can find me pretty much anywhere under Rocket Fox, which is Rocket like the Rockettes. And then I also help to run a nonprofit called Superheroines, etc. And our mission is to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd And you can find out anything about that at superheroinesetc.org.
And also now I'm very happy to introduce the CEO of GeekSpaceTV, Anna. What's over there?
Hello, I'm Anna Geeks. I am the CEO here at GeekSpaceTV, which reminds me there is no Inklings this week because Steph and Lauren are in somewhere else. You might have seen them on a much, much bigger, fancier channel than ours. However, about me, Anna Geeks, I am a full-time variety broadcaster. I've been doing a lot of baking. You can see my kitchen behind me and my muffins. Wonderful muffins.
They look so tasty.
They do.
They're so good. And I am playing Veronica Cardina.
And last but not least, I suppose I am Trooper SJP, and I am the game moderator for this wonderful show. And I'm a Twitch-affiliated streamer focusing mostly on story-heavy games, and you can find me on my channel over there, Trooper SJP, or at Academic Foxhole on Twitter. So with all of that said, we're going to go to credits, and when we come back, we will see episode 6 of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble. And we should be back up. It might take a few seconds to be back here, but I see that OBS is telling me that we are back online. It looks like we are. And so, welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble.
Shortest episode ever. No one rolled any failures, so we're good.
We are good. Everyone was great. It was perfect. So while we were gone, they did all of the missions. They bombed all of the Nazis, and the war is over, and everything's great. Thanks, everyone. Oh my goodness. Rocket was good. She was the saboteur. Oh, well, we do have some discussions of saboteurs that we have to discuss, but that'll come later.
Trooper, I know you're really excited for the French Resistance show, but we have to finish this one first.
Oh, fair.
I was undercover.
So, last week on Night Witches, we were dealing with the aftermath of our young Lena being taken away. We had a confrontation between Irina Alberg, who we will have introduced herself in a moment, who argued with the Deputy Politruc about what happened, and we learned that the Deputy Politruc sort of quasi-outed herself. We had a moment of connection between Nick, who will also introduce herself pretty soon, and our mechanic armorer Mel, who has this relationship with Lena. They went off as during that mission, there was a mission that evening that was grounded because Yellowtail, this German fighter pilot also named the Witch Hunter, shot down 4 of their planes, and the one sole surviving member of one of those sections came in, and that's being played by Anna, Veronica Cordina, who's brought into this unit in this moment. And they go off to recover the planes that they're missing with the loss of all of these. They had a loss of 4 planes, and they were in a pretty terrible position where they're at. Trudgornyaka has really poor supplies, and they couldn't get plane replacements, so they had to go off and get their planes. And in the process, they also went and retrieved the bodies of the fallen women. And then they go, and Titania, who will introduce herself shortly, was sent off to go and help rebuild the section that was destroyed because of her great leadership. And the team goes off, they do a mission, they're brilliant at it, led by Nick, who is our temporary leader. They're led off to the space, they do their mission, but the bombs don't drop, and Nick bravely crawls out onto the wings of the plane and releases the bombs by hand in this successful, great, and they come back. They realize that their auxiliary airfield has been overrun by the Nazis who are waiting in ambush for them. And through some exciting bravery and smart thinking, Veronica is able to bomb the munitions field and the fuel depot on the auxiliary airfield, thwarting the ambush and making sure that nobody else will land there. And as they all return back to their main airbase, as we end the last session, they learn that Marina Roskova, the woman who founded these 3 regiments and the hero of the Soviet Union, she died in flying her high-tech bomber out to the front in a terrible storm. And the missions were canceled for that evening, and Veronica lodged a formal complaint about it. So that's what happened last week. And so before we find out what happened this week, could we have each of our cast introduce themselves, introduce their character, and tell us what they look like, because we do have fan artists who may want to know. And let's start backwards than we did last time. Anna, why don't you introduce your character for us?
My character is Veronica Cordina. She is someone that would have been described as beautiful until she got a great big scar down the side of her face. She's a pilot. She's about average height, but that sort of movie star of the time sort of attractiveness, blonde, blue eyes.
And Titania, Fox, why don't you introduce your character? I'm getting in character already.
That's good. It's method. So I am Titania Petrova, and she is very buttoned up, very sharp, put together, short black bob, and very just very, the military suits her well, just in terms of her outward presentation. And she has a background as an artist, but even, when she went to school, but even during that, she was much more, she took on the personality of her more science-driven father, so.
And Maggie, why don't you tell us about your character?
Hey, I play Irina Alberg, who is the youngest of 7 children. She's loud, obnoxious, and blunt. She has short, frizzy hair, and it's like curly brown. She's got blue eyes. She's tall and bulky. She can sometimes be mistaken for a man because of her body build. Her uniform is unkept. She doesn't really look like she keeps it all together, and even when she is trying to be serious, she kind of has a spark in her eye, like she's up to something. So that's Irina.
Shenanigans?
Yeah, probably.
Probably shenanigans. And Mac, introduce your character for us, please.
Hey guys, I'm playing Nikita, who goes by Nick Volkova, and she's kind of roguish, kind of likes to get into a little trouble, although she's been a little bit more subdued lately because of some run-ins with Captain Olga Barsakova, which was terrifying. But she's got short, cropped auburn hair, and she's got she's got olive eyes and a lot of freckles, and kind of looks like she's just ready for more shenanigans too.
And so one of the things about Night Witches, this game, is that you often ask questions of the characters in the beginning to sort of get to know them a little bit and sort of develop their characters. And so I have questions for each of you before we begin. And Veronica, I have a question for you. At this time in history in Russia, we're in 43 at the moment, there's a great deal of propaganda push emphasizing motherhood and that women, what they can do for Mother Russia is to have children. I was wondering if you might tell us a little bit about Veronica's relationship to motherhood. How does she feel about this propaganda?
Oh, you see, Trooper knows how big of a question this is.
Is it a big question? What?
Very conflicted.
Mm.
Yes, Danger Mouse, thank you. She sees it a little bit as a cage. It's understandable, especially in the time of war. It makes sense. Everybody needs to be making babies to repair the nation, and there's a certain amount of duty there, but that's not where her heart is. Her heart's in the air.
So when we end the last session, we finish that duty station and we pick up our new session in a brand new duty station, which we will talk about shortly. But it's been some time. We are now in March of 1943, so it's been a couple of months. So, Nick, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
That smile.
Nick, in this intervening time, how often have you been hanging out with Mel?
Probably as much as possible.
Interesting. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just seem to get along really well.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, audience. I was just curious. And I would say that within this moment, hanging out with her, you have, in all likelihood, been invited to some private parties, often places where people cannot find you. And in this space, because it has been fairly clear to you that Mel has just assumed that you are family, as she never asked you, but she just assumed that you were. And she's sort of invited you to some of these parties where there are various women in different sections who will go there who are all lavender women, including your old training officer, Masha Rodina, who would be there every once in a while in some of these parties.
Sure. And I think Nick would be as discreet as possible, but we'll try and get vodka to bring or the Victrola as much as possible for these gatherings.
And they're like quiet gatherings, usually somewhere off base when you can sneak out some time and just sort of be around with each other and relax, let your hair down in those moments.
What little bit I have left of it, because they made me at it.
What little hair you have left. Titania was missing for some of the time in the last session because her character was pulled away after this great tragedy with this loss of this section, and she's she's a junior lieutenant, so she's an officer, and she was pulled away to Squadron 1, Section D, to help rebuild it and lead it until she could come back to her home section. And so I had a question for you, Titania, and that was, while you were over in Squadron 1, rebuilding Section D, what was the best moment that you had while you were rebuilding them, and what moment made you miss your Section C here on the 2nd Squadron?
There were actually a surprising number of moments that made me miss my original squadron, which some came kind of unexpectedly, such as just being in the area when we're having downtime. No Victrola for one.
Yeah,
that was a noticeable difference. No chocolates or anything like that. So there were little things like that. But I think one of the really good moments was that once we had kind of gotten everyone settled in and people working together, and there was a moment when we kind of came together in that just well-oiled fashion, after which we ended up going to celebrate with, nothing is nice per se, just in terms of, rations and things like that. But there was a little bit of vodka and it was okay. So there was just this moment of us coming together and having this kind of sisterhood there, that it both was a moment that I really enjoyed in the new section, but also a moment that made me kind of feel for the people that I missed.
And Irina, your character comes off as a pretty happy and jovial person without a lot of cares in the world, sometimes angry. Sometimes there's some anger management issues, but generally speaking, your character seems pretty content in the world, at least from all outside purposes. But oftentimes, there are other ways to sort of get a sense of who a character might be than the way they present themselves in public. And one of those things that is where you can often find surprising and interesting things would be in a person's footlocker. So, because who knows what people store in their footlocker, and oftentimes the things in there might give interesting indications about them in some way that we might not expect. So I ask you, what if for example, we searched your footlocker, which we would never do, what surprising thing would we find in that footlocker that we would perhaps not expect of Irina that we've met so far?
I think Irina doesn't really have a lot of things, because we kind of talked about that the first episode she joined. But the one thing that she probably has that might be the most interesting to anybody would be the letters. She writes every chance she gets. So you can often find her just writing to her siblings. She has 6 of them, so she's writing to them and her parents. Primarily, she only writes to her mother, but that letter goes to her mom and dad. So you can see her writing a lot to them.
So how many letters do you have in this footlocker?
Probably at the moment, because we just finished our mission, probably like the full 7 letters ready to send off when we hit our next brief.
I love it. Thank you. So before we start, I always like to give a quote from one of the actual Night Witches. And the quote we have for today is Senior Lieutenant Nina Raspopova, who was a pilot and was also awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union. And our duty station that we're at right now is Pashkovskaya. And this is now, we're dealing with the fight to liberate the Crimean Peninsula. And I have a quote that's reflecting on this struggle to liberate the Crimean Peninsula, which was one of the first times that our airwomen will be flying out over the sea. And so Lieutenant Raspopova said, "The second time I was shot down was in 1943 over Kerch in the battle to liberate the Crimean Peninsula. In order to knock out the well-fortified fascist troops in the area, the Soviet Marine Landing Force had to capture the peninsula. To prevent the enemy from detecting the Marine Force landing, our regiment was given the assignment of creating a noise screen over the strait, but unfortunately, the landing force was detected and crushed by the enemy. In the cockpit, I saw the sailors, Marine officers, military ships, and boats dying in the cold waters of the strait. It all looked incredible from above, as if millions of worms swarmed in the raw meat of minced human bodies. I prayed to God to stop the slaughter. Suddenly, the fuel tank of my aircraft was hit, and the engine choked, coughed, and quit. I just managed to get back over the Kerch Strait and was about to land on a village road when I noticed all the approaches to the sea had been bombed, and the road had been ruined with trenches. There was no way out. I had to land there. Only God knows how I escaped death and made it down on that deserted road. At the end of the landing, ran a metal construction, an anti-tank device that pierced the cockpit floor. The left wheel stopped over the edge of a deep trench. My friends told me I was born under a lucky undershirt. I also ascribe it to destiny. At the end of my story, I want to tell everybody who's going to read this, don't believe those who say they had no fear in war. I did fear the war. And death? I feared each combat mission. After bombing and having escaped the enemy's fire, I couldn't pull myself together for 10 or 15 minutes. I was shivering, my teeth were chattering, my hands and feet were shaking, and I always felt an overwhelming striving for life. I didn't want to die. I dreamed of a small village house, a piece of rye bread, and a glass of clear river water. And that is a quote from one of our actual night witches. So now it is March of 1943, and our airwomen find themselves in Pashkovskaya, which it's been at least 6 months since our last duty station. And here in Pashkovskaya, they are at a converted civilian airfield in this small town. And they are supporting the Black Sea Fleet in the battle for the Caucasus. And the Germans are pushing really hard, but the Russians are pushing back harder. Now, I'm sure they're very excited to hear this. The 588 is currently sharing this airfield with the 288, the celebrated male night bombing regiment. They're best friends. So they're on the base together. And they, of course, have requisitioned all of the good stuff. So they've got all the good supplies, and you get the scraps. And Pashkovskaya is very close to the city of Krasnodar, which is a linchpin in the German plans for seizing the Caucasus. And so many of the missions that people were taking are going to be very close to home. The supplies are adequate, however, and because there are rail lines serving Krasnodar, which means that there are no penalties when repairing or scrounging. So I have some questions as we draw our airbase, and we can get ourselves set up for first duties for this duty station 3. So I suppose the first thing I would say is there is a shared military airfield here in Pashkovskaya, and what does it look like? Will one of you draw this airfield for us, this nice airstrip?
I'll draw it.
Thank you. And while Maggie is drawing.
Along the coast, or are we more off the coast?
You're close to the coast.
Okay.
You're like, if the coast is out west, you're inland but along a river, so you can take that river out towards towards the straits. And while she's making this airstrip, let me ask someone else: where are the crowded women's barracks tents? Because you're in tents. It's better
than a hole in the ground.
It is better than a hole in the ground. You actually do have tents. But where are these crowded tents that the 588th is sleeping in? And where are the spacious huts, actual huts that the 218th are sleeping in? Where are they? Can someone give me our...
I've got this.
Oh, please, give us these tents that you all stay in and the huts that the 218th stay in.
So here's a nice, spacious hut.
Oh, it's nice.
Oh,
it's nice. That looks
nice.
Great.
Nice little hammock out here. A lounge chair. That looks fun.
It looks great. Mm-hmm.
So this is where they stay out.
It's nice.
Hey. This is a shanty.
Oh, so sad.
I'll just add, let's see if I can do this.
Please.
I want to add the direction that the water flows in.
Please do. Yes. Oh.
Oh
no.
That seems about right.
That seems about right. Also, I'm just wondering, where do we have our armorer's bunker that you all hang out in? Well, some of you might be hanging out in.
I can do that.
Please do.
Do we determine where the airstrip is exactly?
I was gonna have it go across the river or next to the river, but she just drew the bunker there, so
I like it.
No, it's separating us from the guys.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm
And
gonna
they're
draw
probably
right
giving
here,
us a
right
hard
here.
time because we're closer to the
Yes.
runway.
Yes.
Like,
Closer to all the really loud sounds.
Yeah.
and all the people running around screaming.
I like it. So we do have some opening questions to ask. And I would like to ask, and whoever wants to take the question can take it. Here's the first one. What completely unreasonable demand has been made of the regiment while you are here?
I mean, like this 5 minutes or the last?
Like, what are you being asked to do that no one else that the 218th is not being asked to do while you are here?
Thing.
Wear our formal dress uniforms more often.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're near the civilian town, so they want us to look more prim and nice and polished when we're not flying our missions.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Which then ties into my next question, which I would love someone to take. Lieutenant General Igor Miroshnichenko, who is the commander of the 4th Air Army, who's in charge, which is the unit above the 588th and also the 218th, so it's like the boss of y'all. When is he arriving for an inspection? When is he going to be here? How much time do you have?
Tomorrow.
I like it. Go bold.
I was going to say it, but I didn't want to.
Oh, yes. What steps have been taken to keep the regiment efficient in such close quarters with her brothers in the 218th?
Well, I would say that they're probably inspecting our quarters all of the time. All of the time. Like, once every couple days would be cool. Once a day. That might be fine, but they're coming around like 3 times a day. It's like in order, and we're all like sitting on top of each other. Our things are on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like they're being completely unreasonable.
I love this. It's the best. It's the best. And then the last question that I will ask is, what object just beyond the perimeter is a stark reminder of war's cost?
Maybe a city that's destroyed.
Maybe not a city, but a village, like a town, something more intimate.
A church specifically is in ruins.
So there's this bombed out church that sort of just sits there, its steeple still sort of cutting into the night, and but all of the stained glass windows are just broken and bombed out. And maybe even when you pass through the village to get to Krasnodar, when you're doing things, you walk on the shards of the stained glass, right? And these little stained glass bits sort of travel, and every once in a while you just like notice again, look, there's this piece. And it was probably, I can imagine, a really old church with perhaps even famous stained glass windows, sort of locally, regionally, for being really beautiful and sort of very old, and they're completely destroyed. Yeah. So here you are in Poshkovskaya. And you're all in this unit together, and it's much better than it had been because you have actual tents, and you find yourselves in your tent. And Titania is back. You are, you've been back for a bit. You've rejoined your section, and your section currently consists of Titania, Irina, Anna, whose section is still being rebuilt. So she's Irina, Titania, Veronica, Nick, Anastasia, and Tamara Golovina, your zealot, who is stationed with you, but she hasn't arrived yet. She was supposed to be back taking the train back to join you all, but her bed is still empty and she hasn't arrived, which is a little bit disturbing because you hope she's not gone AWOL. Although she's not the type who would go AWOL. She seems very gung-ho, but her bed remains empty and her gear has not arrived. And as you're in the barracks, there is a bit of a sort of knock on the door, which you think might be yet another inspection. And when the door opens, it's your squadron leader, Alexandra, sort of Sasha Kajieva. And she comes in with Polya Makarova. And Polya Makarova goes, "What's up, sukas? I'm back." And she looks around and she like takes off her duffel bag and she puts it on that empty bed. And she immediately like lays down on the bed, puts her pilotka over her eyes, and starts trying to take a nap because she will get as much sleep as possible. And Sasha Kajieva, your lieutenant, says, "Well, I have some bad news for you, I'm afraid. Sergeant Tamara Golovina was killed on her way back to base. The train that she was traveling on was bombed by the Nazis, and about 100 people perished in that attack, and she was one of them. And she will be remembered as a great hero to the motherland. And I'm sure that she is just... that her regret is that she was not able to die in battle, but I thought I would let you know." And
thank you for letting us know.
And in her absence, there was some question about whether or not we should have Makarova or Ivanova rejoin the section. And Makarova said that she would prefer to be here over Ivanova. And Kajieva just looks at Irina, just looks at her and says,
"Yeah, Irina has a look of like, ha, I won."
I do have
That's still
some
somberness from the previous comments that she was talking about. So
I have some good news for you all, I suppose. As you know, we have the general coming tomorrow. This will be after your night mission. And there's going to be some... this is great news for you all. I'm sure you'll be really excited about the opportunity that you all have for tomorrow. There's going to be a dance between the 218th and the 588th together to increase morale.
I don't do dancing.
Everyone will be going to the dance to increase morale.
Oh.
I also have some really wonderful news that I've been told to tell you all. That for the general's presence, who will be here at this dance, there will be a talent show. The women of the 588th will put on a talent show to entertain the 218th and General Miroshchenko, and to lift all morale and spirits. And so you don't have a lot of time, but you will have to contribute some talent to this talent show for the good of Mother Russia.
And who's going to raise our morale?
I have been told that by performing, you will all feel much better. You don't all have to perform, but we do need an act or two from each section. For
Titania turns and looks at Anastasia.
Who was like not really paying attention, and then she's like, "Wait, there's a dance? Oh, I love to dance. Oh, that'll be fun."
I think we'll be able to come up with something.
What? And because she missed the talent show part, she was sort of lost on the dance part. She's like, oh, a dance. And then Kajieva, she starts to walk out and she says, you have some time before your mission tonight. You're on your own recognizance. I'm sorry. But we have to do what we have to do for Mother Russia, even if that involves a dance.
So our talent is bombing Nazis, so we're just going to have everybody come outside and watch us fly the way that we do, right? Does that count
Now
for a
that I'm into.
And then it'll be educational for the 218th as well.
And Polya, who's asleep, lifts up her pelotka and goes, hell yeah! And she puts her pelotka back down over her face. And Kajieva says, I'm very sorry, this order comes from way on high, and it is not we will do what we have to do for Mother Russia, and I'm sorry. I hope it won't be too humiliating.
Well, we appreciate your condolences on this during these difficult times.
Yes. Expect some, I don't know. Well, we've got work to do for today. We have a mission tonight. I'm sorry. And she is clearly irritated by all of this, and she leaves you all in your very sort of crowded barracks alone to reflect on the joys of being women in the military.
Wonderful.
Great. Awesome. So a display of how good this regiment is at graffiti.
Nick, how good are you at stabbing things? That's a talent, isn't it?
Yeah, but I have a feeling it's not going to go over very well.
And then Anastasia says, wait.
It doesn't go over very well.
Wait a moment. Is anyone good at throwing knives, perhaps? Firing a gun?
Something.
Not bad with a couple of knives.
We have many talents here, don't we?
Well, and I think depending on who our wonderful volunteer is, that could make all the difference, right?
And Anastasia says, wait, there's a talent show?
Anastasia, you seem like someone who is just rife with unbridled talent. What do you do?
Oh, well, I'm a trained ballet dancer. Does that count?
I think that's enough talent for all of us, ladies.
But
I agree.
Yeah, Irina kind of like leans back in her bed and is like, I'm cool with that. I'm not a dancer.
And then Polya lifts up her pelotka and goes, I can drink anybody under the table.
I would be down with that.
I think perhaps as well we could find some musicians throughout all of the 588th to accompany the dance, the ballet.
Oh, that would be fun. Titania, you're really talented. Why don't you, maybe you could maybe show a painting or something, a drawing? That would be nice.
I appreciate your vote of confidence, but I'm pretty sure that's frowned upon by our higher-ups.
But art's beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah, it might be an idea you want to keep to yourself.
Well, I could dance.
I think that would be great. I think it would be lovely. It would be lovely for you to dance, and for us not to, I think, is what would be the best thing for all of us.
And then she looks over at Irina. Irina?
No.
But, okay, so here's a thing to think about, Irina. It's really not that difficult, but would be really wonderful if someone could give me lifts, and you're very tall, and you could lift me.
You want me to lift you?
Right. In the dance.
I'm not dancing.
I could teach you ballet, a little.
Do I look like I can do ballet? She kind of like pulls out her leg from under the blanket that she has, and she like shows her feet to.
Irina, you seem like you could be surprisingly nimble.
You should think about it.
Irina darts an eye at Tatiana.
Tatiana's enjoying every moment of this.
I just think you should think about it because I could use someone who could give me really big lifts. It would be really impressive.
Come on, Irina, it would be really impressive.
Impressive to watch me what? Walk around like an idiot?
Dancing.
Yeah.
Being nimble. You want to be impressive, don't you? You want to impress the 218th?
Irina's just like shaking her head.
I'm sorry, Comrade Cordina?
Yes, Anastasia.
And she pulls out a friendship bracelet. I didn't have one for you before, but I made it for you for this time. And she hands
I
you.
told you she was going to give you one.
Of course
Very
I would.
kind of you, Anastasia.
Oh, thank you. And she just looks so happy right now. And then there's a knock on the door.
I'll get it.
Wait, we have a door? We got upgraded from our tent.
It's a tent flap door.
It's a tent flap door.
It's very hard material.
Door.
I flap open the flap. Flip open the flap.
And there in front of you is young Alexei Popov, who you knew from your training mission, who is sort of young, handsome. He was the friend of Lena's brother from back on the farm, who was also the young man who was bound and gagged in his underwear in your barracks the last time as a form of some kind of sabotage. And he stands there in front of your tent with a box.
Before he says anything, Veronica says, Anastasia, your dance volunteer is here.
And she looks out and she sees Alexei and she's like, ooh, hello, comrade. And she kind of like makes sure her hair is sort of looks nice.
Irina's just watching this, and
Titania, as soon as she opens the flap, looks at Alexei and says, "You look nimble."
And he's carrying this box. Why?
Titania takes the box. Come in.
Okay. And he just sort of like steps like in the doorway of the tent, clearly a little nervous. And he looks in and he goes, that's from Sergeant Smirnov. He wanted me to deliver that to you all as a welcome back.
Titania's going to start to open it.
Smirnoff. No, I'm just kidding.
There's some mid-level quality vodka.
Hey.
In there, just like a couple of bottles and 3 packs of cards.
All right. And I will tell Alexei, tell Smirnov that the game is on.
Okay. I just wanted to say hi to Lena.
Oh, you didn't hear then.
What?
Lena is not with us right now. She's in
The hospital.
hospital.
Why did she get hurt?
Not
Something
that type
like
of hospital.
Oh. Has anyone told her family?
It's not the kind of thing one would want their family told.
When is she coming back?
Hopefully soon, but we don't know exactly.
What happened?
I see everyone else struggling, and because Irina's Irina,
here.
she's just like, they think she's a lavender girl.
Lena?
Well, they don't think it. She admitted to it. So now they're putting her in some cuckoo bin, like they always do. Fortunately, seems like they weren't just gonna go straight to death, which I've seen a couple times.
Oh. Oh.
And I kind of look at Anastasia as I'm saying that all.
Mm-hmm. And Anastasia is like deer caught in headlights again, right? Because it was so great just 5 minutes before. Like, her life was so wonderful, and now all of this is happening again. And then she says, "Oh, but Alexei, I'm going to dance ballet, and then you could be my dance partner, right?" And he's like,
Say yes, because
Please
I
say yes.
oh, yes, okay.
Irina looks relieved.
I will show up for practice, I suppose. I need to talk to her brother. I'm sorry. Forgive me, comrades. I'll have. Pardon me.
Of course. Go deal with what you need.
And he leaves somewhat disturbed.
As he's going, like, Nick's gonna follow him out of the tent real quick
Mm-hmm.
and take hold of his arm and just be careful about what you say and who knows what. It's sensitive information.
Right. I understand. Volkova, right?
Yeah.
Some of my colleagues in the 218th said some things about you all in that last mission in training.
I'm sure they did.
But my uncle is the regimental commander, and I said that you all did a really good job.
That's appreciated. It's nice to occasionally not be completely dumped on by everyone else.
Yeah. I wish I knew what that was like sometimes.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, you mean the other thing, actually getting commendations and not being dumped on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a rare feeling.
I imagine that you might know who graffitied our planes back in training. Maybe.
Somebody graffitied the planes?
Yeah, they did.
Hmm.
It was
No
funny.
clue.
It was funny. They've
Yeah, it sounds like a great gag.
they repainted all the planes. Of course. Except for one.
Yeah.
Mine.
Do you need some help repainting?
They won't let me. It's okay. The hearts and flowers
Maybe they
aren't...
don't have to know.
The hearts and flowers aren't too bad. I mean, I can handle it.
Well, if you want some help, you know where to find us.
It'll probably just make it worse for me.
Fair enough.
What is this dance thing exactly?
You tell me. This whole thing is insane.
I don't know. Well,
It is what it is. We do our duty and we move on.
yeah. Thanks for letting me know about Lena. I should at least tell her brother that she's in hospital.
I think that's fair.
Thanks. And he sort of walks off, sort of with this sort of disturbed look on his face, back towards the other end of the flight line.
Yeah, Nick goes back to the tent.
Where you all are together during the day, thinking about all the stuff you have to do. Oh, by the way, I will just want to point out that both Anastasia and Titania have qualified. They're no longer having to do training anymore. So everyone is good on that front.
No stress. Completely stress-free.
Completely stress-free. But you do have a duty, have a mission coming up this evening. And you have all of your planes are completely repaired. Lucky 13, the Clipper, and 84, I think, is your third plane. And I think that's right. And you have the day before you. Anastasia needs to practice her ballet, however. And she's a little excited about it. And then she says, she tugs on Irina's sleeve.
What?
Irina, can I talk to you for a moment?
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
I mean in private.
Okay, where do you want to go? This isn't about that other thing again, is it?
Outside?
Okay. She gets out of the bunker and she goes, or whatever.
And Anastasia pulls Irina outside, right outside of the tent. She says, I have a question for you.
Yep, you said that. What's the question?
Do you think a person can like boys and girls?
Oh, not that again. You're going on about this again?
Well, who am I supposed to ask? The last time I asked my sister, I got people in trouble. So I figured I should ask you.
Not talk about that.
But look, I have an idea.
This is not going to go well. What's your idea?
I think that I'm going to marry Alexei.
You think you're going to marry Alexei?
Yes.
Are you sure he even likes you?
Yes. Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
He's handsome, and I think he'd be a good match. So, can you make that happen?
Me? Do I look like some matchmaker? I am not the person you should be asking about matchmaking.
Well,
look. If he likes you, then maybe it'll work out for you. And the dance is probably a good first step.
Okay. Okay. Do you have advice? What should I do?
I don't know. What? Irina's like all caught off guard because she's like, I am not the person who's giving dating advice.
You're the best person to ask for dating advice, clearly.
Yeah, so she's kind of like, what?
Do I just ask him to dance?
I think you already did.
Oh. Okay.
He said yeah, so maybe you guys need to practice. Maybe ask him if he has time.
Yes. And then I would be allowed to dance with him because of practice for the thing. Okay. I'm going to do that now.
Weird.
Okay. I'm going to go. Oh, do me a favor, will you?
What?
I have a question that I want to ask Comrade Cordina, but I'm going to go rehearse with Alexei right now, so I can't ask her. So will you ask her and then tell me what she says?
Why can't you ask her after?
Well, I don't know. Remember the last time I asked her a question, you said that I didn't have any tact, so then I thought that you could ask her so that you would do it better, and then just tell me the answer.
Okay, what's the question?
How did she get the scar on her face?
That is not something you should be asking someone.
But I want to know.
Look, I'll see if I can find out.
Okay, just because, don't you want to know?
I have a good idea.
It could be, what if it were like a knife fight? Or what if she were running through the woods at night and then like branches caught her face when she was trying to save someone? Or maybe, I don't know. There's so many possibilities of what could have happened.
Well, if it's any of those things, it's good that she's on our side.
Right? So since you said that I'm not good at asking questions like that, and I don't want you to get mad at me again.
Questions like that. That's the point. There are some questions that just shouldn't be asked.
Will you find out for me?
Like I said, maybe.
You're my best friend. Second best friend.
Who's your first?
Titania.
Oh, right.
Thanks. I'm gonna go find Alexei.
Don't ask him to marry you.
Well,
Like,
no.
you gotta take it slow. You can't just go asking people to marry you.
Right. But I think he will.
As she walks away, Irina just like laughs again, and she has that look on her face again, like, what kind of conversation should I just have? This is like the repeat every episode.
I take it you go back into the barracks.
Yeah.
Your tent. And it's just you four and Polya, who's lightly snoring in the background.
I walk back over to my bunk or whatever it is, my area of the tent. And if I walk past Veronica, I just kind of like glance at her for a moment and then I go back, like go to my area. I don't know if she catches it or not.
I think she is probably reading a book that she borrowed from someone.
Titania's going to pull out, she actually has Sarah's book of poetry as something that she ended up keeping on her. And she's going to pull it out and she's kind of sitting there reading through it, flipping through pages. And then she's kind of restless a little bit, like she's trying to read it, but it's not really going well. And then she closes it and then kind of sits up and to everybody just, did anyone hear anything about Lena while I was gone?
Not a thing.
Haven't heard a word. Well, yeah.
This is unacceptable. And she like sets the book down. She gets up and she leaves the tent.
Irina's like, what is she up to? And looks around at the others and kind of like shrugs and gets up and follows her.
Well, Veronica will follow too.
Nick kind of shrugs and she's like, I'm going to go find out as well. Everybody's going, so.
Polya lifts up her polotka, notices everybody's left, gets up, goes over to the box where the vodka is, drinks some vodka and is like, and she just spreads out in this tent now that everybody's gone and enjoys some vodka in all of y'all's absence.
Oh, should have stayed.
Polya's my hero.
Yeah. Spirit animal right there.
Where do you head?
Oh, I'm heading to talk to Anastasia's sister.
Ah.
I'm not going to talk to Olga. That's a step I'm not ready to take just yet.
But Olga's your best friend.
Second best friend.
Second best friend. You head over and you sort of you have to head away from the flight line, and there's sort of a bunch of sort of buildings, actual buildings from the old airfield where the Polo trucks have sort of made their home, as well as like this is the place where you have all of the maps, because you have in this sort of command area, you've got all the maps of the area where your missions might take place. So so all the navigators can study them and figure out all the targets, right? So it's this kind of big map case in this one room. And very often navigators will go into this room to study before missions. You've got all the command staff, and you've got your supply, and then of course you've got the Polo truck and the deputy Polo truck. And you make your way to the end where Svetlana Sheremetova has her office.
Ooh, Nixie's where her trajectory is and very quickly changes hers. Starts heading back towards where the mechanics are.
She's like, not that way.
It's like, oh, nope.
Irina sees where she's going and approves and follows.
And as you're walking by towards this back office, Olga Barsukova steps out into the hallways and sees all three of you. And her face brightens, and she says, Comrade Cordina. Oh, I was wondering if you had a few moments to step inside of my office. I have wanted to speak with you.
Of course, comrade.
Oh, excellent. And then she looks at the other two of you. She says, carry on. And she
I salute her and carry on.
And she takes
gives a shrug and then
she takes Veronica into her office. And we're going to go into Olga Barsukova's office before we get into Svetlana Shermetova's office. And she smiles at you. She says, please, please, my dear comrade, have a seat. Would you like some chai?
Some what? Sorry.
Chai.
Truck just drove by just as you said it.
Some chai. Would you like
That's
some?
her thing. It
Yes.
creeps me out every time.
Absolutely. Please and thank you, comrade.
Of course. And rather than have someone else serve the chai, she pours you a glass of tea herself.
And Veronica seems perfectly at ease.
And she sits down across from you, the Captain Olga Barsukova. And she turns to you and she says, I am so sorry that I have not been able to invite you into this office earlier. It is such an honor to have you here. I feel humbled by your presence.
You flatter me, Captain.
Well, anyone who has done as much for Mother Russia as you and your family have done is someone who I am always proud to be in the presence of. I wanted to bring up something. You made a formal complaint to the regimental commander about the canceling of that mission on the night of Marina Raskova's death.
I did, comrade.
And I want you to know that I agree with you. I think it was the wrong move to cancel the flights that night. And I am pleased to know that I have an ally.
Of course.
I also want you to know that it was not authorized, the retrieving of those bodies. But what you and your section did, I will not forget. And retrieving those small pieces, those keepsakes, I returned them personally to the families of each fallen airwoman in between these two duty stations, and it meant a lot to them, and I wanted you to know that they thanked you.
So many of us will not live through this war.
Yes.
And it is through the memory of others that the spirit of Russia continues.
Indeed. I wish to make an offer and then ask a request. Or at least, yes, an offer and a request.
Of course, Captain.
Comrade Sergeant, if you need anything in the unit, please do not hesitate, especially something that someone in my position as Politruk may provide. Just let me know, because I care deeply about the well-being of every airwoman here, but also I honor very much the memory of your husband. Colonel Cordine was a great hero, and anything I can do to honor his memory, but also to reward someone as loyal to the state as you is something that it is my joy to do. That is my offer.
Thank you, Comrade Captain. And what is it that I can do for you?
I have a concern And I cannot prove anything as of yet. And everything that has been small. But small things become large things. There have been minor incidences of things gone missing. Missing supplies. I don't like it. Small bits of sabotage here and there. Nothing too large, but they don't feel to me like pranks and hijinks, as we had in training at Engels. I am concerned about wreckers, concerned about traitors, treason, Hitlerite bandits. I just want you to keep an eye open to see if there might be traitors.
I will, of course, do whatever I can for Mother Russia, particularly if there is a traitor or a saboteur in the area.
I tell this to you because I trust you. Your history speaks for you. Your bravery speaks for you. Someone broke into our map case. Nothing seems to have been taken, but the lock was broken. I don't like it. It could have been nothing, but I'm on the lookout. I would appreciate if you kept your ears to the ground. If you hear anything, I would imagine you'd let me know.
Of course, Comrade Captain.
Thank you, comrade. Be vigilant. I don't like the smell in the wind.
I think she cracks an unintentional smile for a split second, thinking about the fact that they're downwind, and immediately shuts that down.
I was gonna make a fart joke. So. I was gonna be like, oh, it's just me farting. Sorry.
Oh, comrade, before you leave, please know, I do not approve of this talent show.
That is good to hear.
It's not what our job is. It's not what we're here for. But we do serve. So make sure that no one embarrasses us if you have the power to make sure that doesn't happen.
We are, for once, fortunate that I can't remember her Anastasia's last name.
Shirametova.
That sergeant, I believe, or
Junior lieutenant. Junior lieutenant.
We are fortunate that Junior Lieutenant, whatever you just said, is a part of the 588th in this case. She is an accomplished ballerina, I am told.
Oh.
Comrade Captain, it can't hurt that she also has a recognizable name.
Indeed. That will be acceptable, I suppose. Yes, well, thank you. And I'm glad to know that you're here.
At your service, Comrade Captain.
And I yours, Comrade Sergeant.
She, you know.
It's a very lovely a lovely tea moment between the two. Meanwhile, over in Svetlana's office, the door is shut.
Is it shut when we get there?
It is shut when you get there.
I will knock on it.
You hear, "Come in."
Titania enters the room.
Irina follows.
And she looks at the two of you, and she has this look on her face like, oh, God. This is the last thing I want.
Deputy Polchuk, Sheremetova,
Comrades?
I would like some information.
Ask away, comrades.
You seem to be the purveyor of all information around here. I want to know what the status is with my person, Lena, since it seems that no one has heard anything of her for some time.
I'm just gonna ask real quick. Are you acting up right now? I'm just asking. I just want to know.
I think I'm not acting up. I don't think I'm acting up just yet.
Just let me know.
I just have a firm tone, but I could see that being in the very near future.
Yeah, and I'm being
Threatening?
Yeah, threatening.
She's bringing the muscle.
Yeah, I'm the muscle.
She looks at you and she says, that information, I'm afraid, is not something I have access to easily. My understanding is that she's being treated. I don't know when she'll be back. I've made requests, and so far I have been told no, that she will not be returning soon.
So you don't have access to the information easily, but you do have access to the information.
Requests could be made.
I'm gonna eyeball her and the room, and myself and everything around us.
Eyeball!
I'm eyeballing everything.
That is skill.
Skill? All right.
Yes, that is skill. I do not think you currently have a regard that is relevant.
Oh no, I think you're right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh.
Okay.
Apparently see nothing.
No, you do see things.
Just
no.
what Trooper wants you to see.
Because on a failed eyeball, the GM might offer a straight up lie, or an honest mistake, or a tragic misunderstanding.
Oh. What are my options again?
Oh, those are my options.
I thought I was going to have some power in this.
Oh, no, not in a fail. So she looks at you, making this sort of big request about finding out what's happening to Lena. And she says, then she looks at Alberg. And she says, Sergeant Alberg, could you give us a moment in private?
I kind of look at Titania and see if she's nods or not.
Titania gives a short nod to show that she's not pleased with this, but that it will be okay.
Alberg takes a moment, like she's got lead in her, and is kind of nods and turns around and goes out the room.
And the minute the door closes, she looks at you,
listening closely if she can,
with a bit of an anger in her eyes. And she says, "This is mostly your fault."
My fault?
Yes. If you had not,
due respect, how is this my fault?
If you had not been leading on my sister, then none of this would have happened. And now,
on your what?
Yes. My sister is easily influenced, and you flirting with her, doing whatever it is that you're doing. And now what?
I must protest. I am the absolute last thing I have ever done is lead on your sister.
I see what kind of woman you are now. Playing with everyone's hearts, clearly. Did you also do this with this, Lena? Did you convince her to turn herself in?
I had nothing to do with any of Lena's decisions. Lena turned herself in because Olga came around and was threatening everyone, and she is a good soldier, airwoman.
I'm going to tell you something, Petrova. My sister told me about her crush on you.
Mm.
Clearly, you led her on. I do not want you messing with my sister again.
Deputy Politruck, again, with all due respect, you very well know your sister better than any of us do, and you know that a stationary rock could lead her on.
Are you insulting my sister?
I am not insulting your sister. I'm just saying she is...
She's what?
A little sheltered. She has led a very innocent life, which is lovely in all places but war.
You will not insult my sister. Yeah, right? Like, and you're like, there, you two are not that far from each other, because she sort of got up in your face a little bit, because she sees you now. She sees you. That failed roll lets her see what's happening. You are a temptress, leading her sister astray.
She knows nothing of me.
And she wants to, like, you know, get you to back. She wants to intimidate you a little bit.
I will not be intimidated by this show of force.
So, will you back off of my sister?
I am not on your sister.
You had better not be.
No, I'm not. There's nothing to back off of. There's nothing happening here. You know well enough that she circles hearts around the pilots in her magazine. Are you really going to take seriously what she says about whichever direction her heart seems to go?
My sister was almost caught by Olga Barsukova.
Titania has a moment of dawning. Because Irina knew about this. I don't think I knew about this.
That's right. That's right. You didn't.
She has a moment of dawning, but she's trying to keep it in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I have some other things to tell you, too.
There's a reach out in your future coming up.
I see. And what you're saying is you heard some things from Anastasia herself.
Yes.
About Lena?
And you.
And what did she say about me?
Well, she told me that she was in love with you. How did that happen?
You know her! How does it always happen?
Are you telling me that you didn't do anything?
No, I accepted her friendship bracelet, and so did every other woman in my unit. Certainly you can't think that every woman in the unit is flirting with her.
No. No.
Look, I'm happy to look out for her, but she's young and inexperienced and naive. You know, it's from you telling me that she spoke to you, I'm assuming you didn't share this information with any of your superiors.
Of course not. I wouldn't do that. However, okay, I just want you to imagine this as a film scene for a moment. As she says this line, it's a split screen, and you can see Irina on the other side of the door listening. And she says, sometimes people put their ears to the door and overhear parts of conversations. Some of those people might be the Politruck. At the moment, it's Irina. And sometimes they hear bits of conversations, but not all of it. And then they confront you about it, and you have to make up something.
Well, despite what I may have thought before, it does seem like you are looking out for your sister, and I can appreciate that. I do not, however, like that one of my other sergeants is suffering now because of what happened.
I don't like it either. There's not a lot I can do. However, I have sent Comrade Petrova,
Yes.
Junior Lieutenant. They don't feed them often in these hospitals. The food is...
That's barbaric.
Yes. We're in war, and they don't prioritize people there. I have been able to send some food to her in the hospital, so she does get some food. I'm trying.
I can appreciate that you're trying. I would just ask that you continue to do so. These are very difficult times. We need everyone we can, and she is one of the best navigators we have.
This is definitely an act up. You want her to do something.
I want everything.
Hooligan or natural born airwoman, my friend?
She's sending food to Lena. Arena's like gripping the doorknob like she's gonna bust in there, but then
I'm gonna say natural born airwoman. Like I'm trying to
Mm-hmm. That's medals.
I don't have any of those yet. All right.
yeah, I don't think any of us do. Is
Oh.
there
I do.
Yeah. I was
Someone
like,
has
what?
one coming.
All right. Here we go. Here it is.
Mhm.
Oh,
Nice.
snap. What? 12? That's a pure success.
Yeah.
So you have a choice, my friend. There are three positive consequences. You can pick two.
Yay.
One, you get her to do what you want, which in this case is to work harder to try to get Lena out of there and to look out for her. And probably also keep you apprised, give you information.
Yeah.
Two, you can add one to the mission pool. Three, you can get into no trouble for this acting up.
Ooh, let's do 1 and 2.
I will add one to your mission pool.
And then also I want her to do what I want her to do.
Yep.
Because that's what I want.
There just may be consequences for this. That's all.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
This will
It'll be
work itself
fine.
out.
Sorry to interject. What is our mission pool at?
1.
Okay.
Hey,
great.
you're welcome, ladies.
It's at 1. So she looks at you, she says, look, Petrova, I will do my best. I'm constrained. I cannot be too flashy. I cannot make anything too obvious, lest it come back on me, which I cannot afford. But I will do my best. If I have any way, any hook to bring her back, I will do it. But you have to watch out for my sister. But
I will watch out for your sister. She has a weird charm about her. And she feels like a sister to me too, although I never had any of my own. And I can appreciate what you're saying, and I appreciate the steps you would be taking. And I would just like to say it means a lot to me personally.
she looks at you, she narrows her eyes at you, a little bit suspicious. And she just steps a little bit closer so that this conversation would not be overheard in case...
By prying ears.
By prying ears. Because she worries about her
You love my
boss.
sister, don't you?
She worries about her boss.
Apparently she has reason to worry about prying ears 100% of the time.
Because some people are snoopers.
You're gonna roll a snoop?
And she says, she just leans in a little bit and she says, is it Lena that you have the relationship with?
No. Titania does not move at all. No, I do not have a relationship with Lena.
Okay. Do you know why she came forward?
I cannot possibly fathom the reason why she would have come forward of all times when she did.
Is she in a relationship with my sister?
Lena?
Yes.
I don't, they never were really around each other. I don't think your sister is in a relationship with anyone but her thoughts. Look, at this point, like whenever she leaned in to say that, Titania was kind of like just looking straight ahead, but then she actually turns to look at her.
Yeah.
Look, I'll keep an eye on her. I'll make sure that she doesn't get herself into any more trouble of this sort anyway.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate.
You know, you can come into my office without yelling sometime.
Yes. Titania kind of laughs a little bit because the deputy Politruck is being much more amiable than she was expecting. So, yes, next time I will come without laughing or yelling, whatever. I'll come very emotion free.
Look, I know you're trying, and tell Alberg that she should also be just a little less subtlety. Subtlety is the name of the game.
I don't know if that's really her strong suit.
And Irina can hear all of this, by the way.
I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe I know Irina well enough to kind of suspect she might be doing something. So a little bit louder, Titania will say, "I'll be sure to pass that along."
Good. You were held back for a while doing training with Masha Rudina.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me anything?
Well, she runs a tight ship, but eventually I was able to pass.
How is she doing?
Well, she seems to be doing fine. I don't really see her much outside of training.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to know.
Well, thank you. And if it is not too much, Titania is going to again resume like a more down roll. If it's not too much to request that you keep me apprised on what's happening with Lena, and I would prefer it be in private as well. I don't want to upset the other ladies with what's going on until there's something to tell them.
That's understandable. Thank you, comrade, for looking out for my sister and keeping her alive. She's not a bad flyer, and she's a good person.
She is. I have found her unusually likable.
She shouldn't be here, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, if it wouldn't be out of line to say, I think some of it is that she wants to impress you.
She's so stupid.
I don't know that we would disagree there.
Well, then she just gives you a second look for a moment. Just like a second look.
At that, she's going to say, but she's a good person, and that is very clear.
That didn't seem to be the second look that she gave you. She just gave you a second look like she was seeing you again. She was like, different thought. She was like in a different thought for a moment.
Okay, that's fine then.
Well, take care of yourselves over there in Section C.
We certainly will. And yes, we will see you at the dance.
Oh.
Almost visible ellipses.
She just rolls her eyes at that.
So, and then Titania's going to turn to go away and open the door, perhaps maybe into someone who might be right behind it.
Can I hear the footsteps of her coming towards?
Yes, you can.
Then Arena like
I'll try and make
like leans on the wall like she's cat. Like I totally wasn't leaning on the door. Casual. So what'd she say?
Titania's just gonna look at her. Come on, let's go. We'll head back to the.
Arena shrugs and like follows, and then as soon as we're like away from other people and on our way, Arena's gonna be like, so did she tell you?
There's not so much to tell. It's about as bad as we thought it might be, but well, at least she's alive. The Deputy Politruck says that she's sending her some extra food, and it seems like she will keep me apprised of what's going on, but it doesn't seem like Arlena will be returning to us anytime soon.
Seems like your strategy worked better than mine.
Titania looks at her. Were you going to punch her?
I might have thrown a bottle of liquor at her wall.
Well, you may want to reassess your strategies. If you really want to get under your skin, you'll rethink dancing with Anastasia and giving her some lifts.
I don't think she'd want me to do that.
No, you're probably right.
And it is this point that Veronica comes out of Barsakova's office. And so you can see your third coming out.
As we meet up with her, I'm going to say, everything okay?
Before she thinks that anybody is around, she gives out like an exasperated sigh after she closes the door.
Is everything okay?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. Just another day.
What do you want to talk to you about?
Let's walk, please.
You're not in any sort of trouble, are you? I don't know if I can deal with trying to keep everyone out of trouble.
She knew my husband.
Oh. Did I know she was married? Does Tanya know she was married?
No.
Do I know anything?
Yeah. You're married?
When war broke out, my town was one of the first hit.
I'm so sorry.
Suffice to say, there weren't many survivors. So when I said she knew my husband, he was a hero.
Do I know the last name Cardina now? Like that I think about it?
Let's see. You're in Moscow, right? Your family's in Moscow?
Yeah, they're in Moscow. Yeah.
I feel like this is an eyeball, my friend.
Okay.
Give me an eyeball, which is skill.
Okay. Skillerino.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. I'm nowhere near Moscow.
9. Partial success.
Mm-hmm. That is 1 forward. So if you want to know the question, do you know Cordine? I will say yes. That you happen to know, you've heard of, right? Perhaps through, not you personally, that there was a sort of great, a Colonel Cordine who was a member of the party in good standing, quite politically influential. with like, you know, sort of like a bigwig, like a sort of a party bigwig who is sort of well regarded within, and you probably know this from like your father, well regarded. Now, anytime you do anything anytime you make a roll that in any way has something to do with this information, you'll get a +1.
Okay. Yeah, and as she pauses for a moment, I'm like, I knew your last name from somewhere. I think my father might have talked about your husband. He was well known.
He was a hero for the state. Look, I will tell you the story, but vodka. And she kind of picks up the pace back to the barracks.
Arena doesn't push him.
Yeah.
But I do need a reach out roll from Veronica.
Okay.
Which is a regular 2d6.
Okay.
Who's she reaching out to? All of us.
You two. This is a good reach out.
We're feeling the love. I didn't.
All
I
of
know
that
she
love.
has to roll for both of us as a unit, or she can roll for.
Just one roll.
I am not seeing my dice.
Make sure you have the cursor
Oh,
ticked.
no, I do.
And then when you click on your token,
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
you're welcome.
D6.
Let's see how this goes. Woo!
Oh no!
So I want you two, Titania and also Irina, to just imagine how this story about her great hero husband, Colonel, might be misunderstood or understood all too clearly. Just ponder that.
I mean, I can think how I would take that. Being that
I mean,
my
I'm happy to tell the story at the barracks with some vodka.
Please do. But just note that you might have some suspicion going on. And as you are traveling back to the barracks to hear this story, let's slide over to the hangar, where Nick goes, I assume, to see Mel.
Yeah.
And the privates are there, the mechanic armors are there, and they're working on it. And I am going to, and Mel's there, and she's in her coveralls, right, tied around her waist, working on these planes, trying to make sure that they're in tip-top condition. And she goes, Nick, come on in. Are you here to help us? Or are you here to find parts for us?
What's more helpful right now?
Parts?
I can do some poking around.
We need a few more servos, and we don't have them. We were supposed to have them, but they went to the 218th.
Of course they did. Why would we have gotten anything that we actually needed?
Yeah. Hey, how are you doing?
It's complicated.
The dance?
Dance, talent show.
Pretty lucky that they don't want any talent from us mechanic armorers.
I did suggest that our talent is bombing Nazis, but that seemed to have been kind of vetoed.
And you can just see scenarios going through. I've been told that I might have to build sets. And I don't have time, but...
We don't have time for any of this, let's be honest.
That's fair. Do you think you can get me a box of servos?
Let me see what I can do.
All right, if you do, we'll, I don't know, we'll do something good.
Fair enough.
Where are you going to go to get these servos?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go over to the 218th.
You walk all the way over to that flight line, and you make your way, and you pass by these rows of planes, and including one that has got hearts and flowers on it still on the in the tail. And you make your way to Boris's supply office.
Yeah.
And he's there with some with his gaggle, because you know he has a posse of impressionable privates that always hang around him to get stuff. And you walk in and he goes, "Ah, comrade Little Wolf, how are you? What can Boris, best supply sergeant in all of Russia, do for you?" And he's like, nudges his privates so that they know that he's a big man.
Looking for a box of servos.
Ah, box of servos. So difficult to get.
Yeah, but I believe in you.
Everyone believes in Boris. Tell me. Give me a scrounge roll, by the way, which is luck. Yep.
Yep. That is my best stat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on a second. No, the dice gods hate me.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Yes, I have boxes of servos, but I don't think I have extra boxes of servos to hand over to 588th at this moment, unless maybe.
What you got in mind?
So, you make some sort of show for 218th tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yes. Big show on stage, everything, right? Big show.
That is my understanding of the situation.
I can give you box of servos if you do something for me.
Okay.
I need you to do something public and big gesture.
Personally, you want something that's public and big gesture from me.
Specifically, I want you to, in middle of show, in front of everyone, reveal big poster. Banner. That says, "Sergeant you, will you marry me, Sergeant Boris Smirnov?"
Well,
This is my
do
price.
you have said banner already painted up?
No, I need you to make it for me. My handwriting's terrible. Have you seen my forms? They look awful. So really
Fair enough.
beautiful banner, looks very good, romantic, and I want it sort of like right in the middle so that she sees it.
Do I get the servos now?
After. She says yes or no, doesn't matter, I give you servos.
Could really use them now, and that is an awfully big gesture you're asking me for.
Okay. I give you half box servos, other half after gesture.
Hate to say it, but you got yourself a deal.
Okay, beautiful banner though, pretty writing.
Best as I can manage.
Hey, I saw those hearts and flowers. Very impressive. I want big gesture like
I
this.
had nothing to do with any hearts and flowers, I can assure you, but I'm sure I can figure something out.
Okay. So he goes and he gets one of the privates to round up half a box of these servos. Give them to this one, and none of you privates speak anything of proposal. Secret. Thank you, comrade. You are like Cupid giving love.
Oh yeah, just need it's just I'm on an airplane instead of little wings attached to my back, just super Cupid.
I like this gesture. Maybe also Cupid in plane on banner? Make this also? Think about it.
I'll think about it. I don't want to ruin the aesthetics of the banner.
Well, nonetheless, I know you all understand romance. Make beautiful for me so that Sergeant Yu marries me.
I will do my very best, and thank you for these. I look forward to getting the other half.
Oh, good and well. And he lets you leave with this half a box of servos, which Mel will gladly take to help finish working on this plane. But you know, you have a banner to make for this romantic gesture of love and marriage.
That is what Nick is going to spend the rest of the day doing. And like, if Mel asks what she did to get this, and just be like, you don't want to know. You better put those to good use.
She looks a little worried. Mel looks a little worried. Is everything okay?
Well, it's, you'll see.
Mel makes this look like, uh-oh, it's probably going to be bad. And which will give you time to come back to the barracks around when the rest of the gang does. But you know, it is now time for your night mission.
Of course it is.
But we're going to break first. We're going to break. And when we come back, they're going to go on their night mission. And they have one mission pool. Just one. And we will see what they do. Everyone, come back in about 10 minutes when we resolve and find out what happens. And then we'll maybe see a talent show. And a declaration of love? I don't know. I mean, we will...
It's right around the corner.
For Valentine's, yeah.
Yeah, it's Valentine. This is the Valentine's episode.
It also makes me like Boris more, because at first I was like, where is Boris going?
We have some donations to read out, however. Before we go to break, we have donations. So the first donation we have is from the Vera Pavlova fan, who donates $5 and says, I can't watch live today, but... when navy velvet shrouds the sky, when the last light has died, when enemies battle, when family wars, witches take flight. Glide on wings of darkest pride, patriots of the mother, go, fly, bomb Nazis. And that is from Vera Pavlova fan. And then we have Be Right UK. Be Right UK donates $25, thank you Be Right, and says, a bit towards the weekly goals and in appreciation of Night Witches. You are also appreciated, Be Right UK. We also have Will and TW giving a gift sub to Manglepork. Manglepork, hang out with us. I think that many of the Night Witches could use some mangled pork because they don't get enough food. That's all I'm saying.
That's Bentham Plays, if anyone knows him.
Bentham Plays is awesome.
Yeah.
Dunya Rostova gives us a small little poem with $5 of donation, and this is from the poet Marina Tsateva, who's one of the favorite poets of our now departed Sarah Rabinovich. And the poem is: first, scarcely draped in tatters and disheveled, then plated with a starry diadem, we've been in jails, at banquets we have reveled. But in the rewards of heaven, we're lost to them. Lost in nights of starlight, in the garden where apple trees from paradise are found. No, be assured, my gentle girls, my ardent and lovely sisters, hell is where we're bound. Her poem, Bound for Hell. And Will and TW gives us one last donation. The Feels! Thanks all. That was a $10 donation. Thank you, Willen. We are going to do a quick break. We're going to stretch our legs and drink some water. And you should also all hydrate because hydration is super important. And when we get back, they're going on a night mission. And then I think there might be a talent show, perhaps. And maybe a secret revelation. Be back. And welcome back, everyone. Ooh, let me make sure that we're here. Dice, there we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of Night Witch's Toil and Trouble, episode 6, which I'll probably call marriage proposals or something like that, or Valentine's, something.
Love is in the air.
Love is in.
Love is in the air.
Oh, I'm writing that down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's really good. Love is in the air. That's too good. I can't handle that one. I love it. It happened.
I mean, it works on a lot of levels.
All the levels.
Like a 7-layer dip of working.
And at different altitudes.
No, I love it. Welcome back, everyone. In the first half of our show so far, our characters are sort of maneuvering around each other, getting to know each other, and learning that they have to be the entertainment for a dance with a big general coming. So that's very exciting. And they are now about ready to go on their night mission for today. And we're going to have our section leader, Titania Petrova, bring our airwomen together and get them ready for this mission. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Junior Lieutenant Petrova.
All right, so the mission we have tonight is that we are going to bomb the village of Taman, which is heavily defended by the Nazis. And this is a little bit more dangerous because it is behind the blue line. I've been told that we can expect anti-aircraft artillery unless we come in over the sea, which is also a little bit more dangerous. So I will leave that to our lead navigator once that time comes to make that decision. But as it stands right now, we are going to give out assignments. First off, does anyone have any questions about the mission as it stands? Anastasia.
Do I get to be in a plane with you?
Let's see how this works out. First, we are going to have Irina, you are going to be flying the little clipper. And I'm going to have, let's see, where did my text tool go? On the 13. Let's see.
And for those in the audience, at this moment, Titania Petrova has regard for 13 because whenever you do a successful wheels down maneuver on your plane, you can switch your regard to that from a person to that plane. And she switched her regard from Lena to the lucky 13. So she has regard on that plane.
It's true. Lena and I were never in the same place at the same time.
Yep.
So.
And also right now she's in the hospital.
She's in the hospital. So Veronica, we are going to have you. Everyone else. Question.
Nick and Anastasia get along well together. Actually, so would Irina and Anastasia as well.
I have regard with Anastasia as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's more of a pilot, is she not?
Anastasia?
Yeah. Or is she more of a?
She can do either one.
Perfect. That's great news. Okay. So, Veronica, we're going to put you in 13. And then text. Polia, and she's more of a pilot too, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Polia is going to go pilot the 84.
Polia goes, check.
And then, all right. Anastasia, you are going to navigate on 42, the little clipper with Irina.
Okay.
Because I trust the both of you just an incredible amount. And then I am going to navigate on the 13 with you, Veronica. And then Nick, I'm going to have you navigating on the 84 with Polia. Does anyone have any questions? Excellent. So our lead pilot is going to be, oh man, Question
Mhm.
question for the DM.
I'm ready.
So I have extra with the 13, but only if I'm here. So we're going to do this then. I lied. I'm going to be flying the 13, and Veronica, you are going to be navigating me. Because if you don't end up rolling, then it's not really going to matter. Okay, so that will give you a couple points.
It does.
Does it? Oh, no.
Well, but if she's not lead navigator, she can veto Maya, so she can jump in to protect someone.
Okay. Would that still work if she's navigating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can shift that around if need be. But all right, I'll have you be Vetomaya. I will be lead pilot, and Nikki will be lead navigator.
Understood.
And so Veronica is going to Vetomaya which plane?
On oh yeah, she's on 13 now.
So she should Vetomaya either 42 or 84.
Yeah. Let's have it be for 84.
And Irina will also need to have a plane assigned to her for Vetomaya.
Yeah. Let's have her Vetomaya 84. And Irina can for 13.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll see how that goes, and I assume it will go perfectly.
And so the night falls, and you're all let out to the flight line. And, you all had this sort of have a discussion about what your mission's going to be, and all the different squadrons have done it too. And you have these big mission briefings before you go off at night, and you're heading off to the flight line. And Mel and the armors are there, loading up these 50 kilogram bombs, each one. And you're loading up into your planes. Let me know if there's anything you want to say before you take off, because you have these moments on the flight line before you go.
I'm going to share a premonition.
Oh, tell me about that.
You. So as the planes are getting ready and they're getting prepared and pulled out, and we're all just kind of standing there. And I have Sarah's poetry book on me. So I'm opening up and I'm looking at this one page. And as I'm looking at it, I just kind of offhand am like, I had, I don't know if anybody remembers the night that Sarah died, when I had kind of a vision of some kind. That happened again. And I saw like a swan on a glassy water, and its reflection was just perfectly underneath of it. And as it was going along, the reflection of the swan actually poked out and became another swan. I don't really know what that means. I drew a picture of it here in this book, though.
And by the way, Fox actually drew this.
I drew this picture here on the screen.
Beautiful. Out of character. This is beautiful. In character, Irina's like, so you drew some swans?
I did.
And Anastasia looks and she goes, I know what that means.
Irina looks at her and is like, what does it mean?
It means I'm getting married to Alexei. He's going to ask me to marry him.
I don't think that's what it means.
Tanya speaks of, Anastasia, maybe, people need to think about these things. Making rash decisions, especially during times of war, is not always
It's so romantic.
That's fine. I think it would be best right now, though, to focus on the mission at hand. It's going to be very dangerous.
And she sort of kind of dances towards her plane on point in her boots.
Oh, no.
She's like, Alexei's going to marry me.
Irina grabs her arm and is like, come on, we need to get on our plane.
Okay. But we practiced a bit today.
How did it go?
It was okay. I think he'll be able to lift me well, and I think we'll impress everyone. And This vision says to me that I'm getting married by the end of the year, and there'll be swans at my wedding. To Alexi.
Well, I think the most important, that sounds great, and I congratulate you. I think the most important thing right now is to focus on the mission at hand, and then we can plan all of that afterwards.
Irina rolls her eyes at Anastasia's comment and is just like, oh my god.
And Anastasia clambers into her plane.
Nick gives, with all of this conversation, gives a look to Mel of like, this is what I have to fly with.
And Mel is trying so hard not to laugh because she thinks this is completely ridiculous. But she's just like, yep, swans equal marriage, all right. That's what they mean. Good luck, Anastasia.
That could have gone worse.
And off you fly. So here's the thing about war. War is surprisingly routine, right? There are all these routines that you get into when you get into war. And partly routine is so that when things go poorly, you can rely on your instinct and your training. And for you all, you've been doing this for so long. Every night it's the same. Every night you get into your planes, the mechanic armors put the bombs on the planes, they start up the engines, off you fly. You fly in the night, secretly, in darkness, navigating by, just by your sight. And the first thing that happens is that your navigator, who in this case is Nick, needs to roll this wayfinding roll to try to find this target. Would you roll that for me, Nick, which is a skill roll?
All right.
And I believe do you have a relevant regard at the moment?
I don't, because I'm not in a plane with Anastasia.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So here we go. Big bucks and whammies. Oh, partial success, a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Although, yeah, we want to hold on to that mission pool, probably.
That is fair. So take one consequence. Your plane suffers a minor mechanical failure. They are waiting for you and you trigger enemy fire, or you're stressed and banging it around and you split 2 harm between you and your fellow airwoman.
I feel like getting bumped around a little bit is not the worst thing in the world. It probably hit some turbulence.
Yeah, that's fair. So you're going and you hit some turbulence, and these planes are very rickety, and so you jostle about. Now, here's the thing about the routine. This is how it happens. You successfully navigate to your location, and you are all quiet and unseen because there are no lights. And you all, one by one, turn off your engines to fly to the target, to do that, your attack roll. And then after you drop those bombs, then the searchlights come on. They try to pin you. If they can, they'll attack you. If they can't, you escape freely. That's what normally happens. Every single time, that's how it works. This time, however, you start maneuvering close to this location, and immediately, before you even get there or drop a bomb at all, the searchlights, and you decided to come over the sea, so it was like a sort of surprise location. Is that correct, Nick?
Yes. So
you went over the sea, which is not the way that anybody thought you were going to come. That was a decision that you all made as a unit, a larger unit, that night. So it was new, it was a surprise. But the minute you start getting close, before you drop any bombs at all, the searchlights pin you immediately. You're all caught in these searchlights as if someone told them you were coming and which approach you were taking. I need you all to endure enemy fire. I need all the navigators to roll luck.
Oh, okay.
Nick, that's you first.
All right. Hold on a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Luck. I don't have any bonuses. Partial success with a 9.
I just want to, for the audience, I just want to let you all know that some missions say that you must endure enemy fire. This is not one of them. So something is not right in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, will you pick 2 consequences?
Okay.
of the 4, you and your fellow airwoman are marked. There are casualties on board.
You would die, right?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
But somebody can always Vetemaya for you. Split 5 harm between you and your fellow airwoman. Your plane is damaged. Another plane in your section goes down.
What's the Vetemaya?
You can just take one of those consequences on you if you want. So, for example, now you are in plane 13 with Titania.
Mm-hmm.
So if she, for example, decided to take marks, you could just come in and take those marks so that she and Polya wouldn't have to take them.
We still have to roll though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will.
But before you do, she has to pick which 2 she wants.
Can I advise on what I would like to take?
Yes, you can.
Take the harm. Take the harm.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually thinking that I'd take the harm, split between us.
And what else?
Are you willing to come in and take marks, or?
I am going to be taking marks by taking all that harm from you.
But you can also take marks.
You can have all the marks.
Yeah. I don't think that I should without doing it to use my abilities.
I can take some harm.
So I guess one of them is we'll take the harm.
Mm-hmm. And then take the marks? Okay. So,
yeah.
Let's just start how this works. You're coming in and they know you're coming even though it was a secret path. And you're caught and you're pinned in these beams. And anti-aircraft fire just comes shooting at you. And I want to know which mark you're going to take. Now, just for a note, your special move, Veronica, you don't need to Vetemaya for that. You can use your Vetemaya for something else as well.
Okay. So for taking all of the harm,
what happens?
I am using my dark bargain.
Mm-hmm.
You can elect to be marked in order to remove all harm from yourself or another.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what mark I'm taking.
Both of you have to decide those marks, but I want to know what this looks like. So all of this anti-aircraft fire is coming at them, and it will surely doom them. What do you do? How do you come in and stop this from happening?
I don't know, because I'm not the pilot.
But you can direct.
You're navigating.
Yeah.
No, you can direct your pilot somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, they're under fire. We need to help them.
And we're not. Okay, so Veronica sees the trajectory that they're heading in, and that it's heading right for where some of the guns are pointed.
Yeah.
And she gets on the little speaking tube to the pilot, to her pilot, and says, what plane are you in? 42 or
84?
No, 84. 84 is heading right for the guns. We've got to get them to turn.
And
then it's on the pilot.
What do you do, Titania, to get them out of that space?
Well, I'll veer on over there, and as we're doing it, some of because the firing is starting.
Yeah.
So as we go over there, we get a little bit, and it clips us as we get like right up in their way, so that they have to veer off the course that they're on.
But then you don't get hit. You think that you would, right? Like, you can imagine, you can see all of this air, like that you would be taking all the shrapnel, but you just slip out of it.
Night actual witches.
the gun sees the other plane coming in and has that moment of, wait, there's a better shot there, and then they miss both completely because they changed their mind at the last second, the wrong second.
It seems a little weird, like you have amazing luck. A little odd. Veronica, I need I need a luck roll from you to avoid this enemy fire.
I believe in you.
It is not letting me. It gave me a weird error.
Let's see.
Is your token selected?
Yeah, make
Oh,
sure you
okay.
select your token.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I still have to take a mark too, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You have to tell me which one you want.
Okay. I'm going to look at that while she rolls.
Please do. I want you to tell me
Hero.
how you, in a completely unbelievable and perhaps unnatural or supernatural way, are able to dodge concentrated ambush anti-aircraft fire that's coming right at you, right after you sort of like moved your way into this beam to save the other plane.
I think she just has this flow moment of like just seeing where each of them are and directing directing, you know, left, right, up, down, like just and there's that moment of synchronicity where she's, you know, pilot's responding immediately, and it just happens just perfectly, supernaturally perfectly.
Titania, you might have remembered the rumors that maybe she was a witch. Maybe she is.
That's fine. That's fine. She can be on a plane with me more often.
I mean, is Titania that far off with her weird premonitions? I mean,
maybe it's the witch plane. It's Lucky 13.
That's right. None
Consider
of this is by accident.
Considering the great success, I would say that Anastasia is also able to maneuver through that enemy fire. But now I need the attack run from Titania.
Oh, right.
And
here we go.
That's guts.
Can I get 1 because I'm in 13?
You do?
This can only go well.
Oh, okay. You must take 2 consequences, my friend. The damage to the target is insignificant, and it's your fault. You trigger enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged. I get to choose. You and your fellow airwoman are marked.
Yeah, I mean, I can take more harm.
There's no harm. It's just poor damage, marking, a plane is damaged, or more enemy flak. Pick 2.
I take 2. We'll take the damage is not significant.
I have a question. Before we do this, I have a question for you.
I have an answer, maybe.
Did you add the +1 for being in 13?
I did.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
I'll take the damage was not significant and it was my fault. With the aside knowledge that something went wrong here on this night.
Yep.
So really, maybe it wasn't my fault.
That is fair.
And then we'll take marks because I think the damage for the and how does the damage work again?
Well, your plane is damaged. That's all.
But
I get to choose.
It's not like the enemy fire one or anything like that.
No. It just means that a plane in your section is damaged that I get to pick which one is damaged, and the pilot has to make a wheels down maneuver. Which?
Yeah, are you okay with taking more marks? I know you just took 1.
Sorry. Yeah, I can take another one.
Okay, let's do that. We'll do that.
Choose your marks.
I don't want people to have to go down in this.
So you come in to sort of drop these bombs, and you drop them, but the problem is this whole place seems like an ambush to you. It seems like somebody was tipped off to your arriving. And you drop these bombs, and you're able to sort of do some damage, but it's not as much as you would like, but you have to get out of there because you're all being pinned down. Go ahead.
Sorry, if I am going to take a mark, I can use one of my other abilities.
Do it.
And make it a 10+ roll.
Oh.
By taking a mark.
Okay. Do that then.
Okay. I sorry, dialing it back just another second.
Oh, please do.
I think.
But I want you to describe it in some kind of supernatural way.
Oh no, I got this.
Do it.
I think that Tatiana hears over the tube. Veronica mutters something about her mother.
Mm.
She says, just, dearest mother, please keep me safe tonight. Let us do our duty out here and come away unscathed. And then she continues, right, with the, you know, go left, go right, drop the bombs now, drop them, drop them. And so...
Titania,
Yes.
you have a premonition of what will happen. You will drop these bombs and they will not hit effectively. You see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if it happened, and you think, we're going to be scarred by this. The damage won't be very good. You know this is what is going to happen. And then in your plane through that tube, you hear Veronica tell you, no, wait, left, right, no, now. And uncannily, you follow her, and the bombs hit perfectly.
I'm so happy.
And you're able to expertly maneuver around what is clearly an ambush, and you're able to make it out. But as you're leaving, you notice planes from other sections. Maybe two planes get hit, and they go down burning. Some go down without being on fire, some do, and you know that maybe 2 planes might have been lost in what was clearly something not right. And you make your way back onto the airbase, and you're immediately brought in to your debrief. And there, in the debrief, is your squadron commander, Sasha Kadzieva, but also in your debrief is Captain Olga Barsukova and the regimental commander. They're both there, which never happens, and they're waiting for you. And they're standing in the back. And Lieutenant Kadzieva says, all right, what happened?
Quite honestly, that's what I would like to know. They were expecting us.
By the way, everyone advances.
Yay.
Woo.
Yay. While we're by the waying, I took call dangerous attention to yourself and reveal a secret.
Oh, thank you.
I also took one, claim something as your own.
Yeah, we knew that was happening.
Uh-huh.
This is not an extra. This is from like our advancement from the last. Or is this like an extra?
This is an extra advance for this mission.
Whoa.
Because you all had to endure enemy fire. Something, right? This is like all of a sudden this became an intense mission.
Okay.
And so they're like, so what happened, right? What happened?
We came in from the ocean side, which is what information had told us was going to be the most successful, and they immediately spotted us, and they immediately started firing directly at us. They knew where we were coming from.
And Olga is taking notes.
She better be taking notes.
She's taking notes. And your regimental commander, Major Bershanskaya, says, we will look into this. However, we have something important to do tonight. And Olga smiles sweetly. And your regimental commander says, Sergeant Volkova, step forward.
Yes, ma'am.
And Sergeant Yu is there with a box. And the regimental commander walks up to you. And she pulls out a medal. But the audience wants to know what it looks like that.
Nice.
And she says, to the entire group, she says, for her tireless devotion to the Soviet state, for the noble deed of walking the wings and by hand detaching the bombs in order to save the retreating Red Army and Rostov-on-Don, for leading a valiant mission to recover important planes to the Soviet state and the bodies of fallen comrades, for her bravery, for her importance, in making the mission successful, and for all of her skill and for her leadership, Sergeant Nikita Volkova has been awarded the Medal of Battle Merit. This medal is awarded for successful combat action resulting in a military success, courageous defense of the state borders, or successful military and political training and preparation. We are all proud of you, comrade, and Olga seems very proud indeed. And they take out these glasses of champagne, and the regimental commander hands you this glass of champagne. It's empty at the moment. And she puts the medal inside of the glass, and she pours the champagne in the glass, and she says, "Drink up, Sergeant. You deserve it." And she then pours out, the regimental commander, the major herself, pours glasses of champagne for everyone in the section.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is a huge honor, and thank you. And downs the champagne.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, keep it up and you may be promoted. And she nods, and the regimental commander leaves, and Olga Barsakova just gives you a pat on the shoulder in that sort of kind, motherly, evil way that she does.
Tries not to recoil.
And then she just says, "I'll be looking to see what happened." And she leaves. And your squadron commander is the last to leave, and she says...
Before Olga
Yes.
leaves, Veronica tries to kind of catches her eye and gives her a nod.
Mm. And she gives you this very serious
Very
nod.
short.
Yeah. She also gives you one back. And you can tell, I mean, the thing is, you know Olga Barsakova, you've had lunch with her on multiple occasions. You've seen her before, and you know her character a bit, and you know that she is clearly disturbed. She doesn't necessarily show it so much, that's not her way. She tends to try to keep a fairly pleasant disposition, but you know that she is not pleased, right?
Yep.
She's on the warpath. And you are left in your barracks together.
Wow, a medal. That's fancy.
Very. It's wow. I genuinely did not expect this.
Polya got marked, didn't she?
I thought somebody else took the mark.
No, I don't think she got
Just
marked.
the harm.
I took the harm, but you had to take
The mark.
2 consequences.
Yep. Which means that, Nick, you have one more mark, I think. Is that correct?
I guess I have another one to take then.
Yeah.
So, okay, but the trick there is, I guess, with my dark bargain ability, I could have just taken 1 mark instead of them taking 2. But no, wait, no, sorry, I would have had to use the other one. Never mind. Scrap that. I'm still learning how powerful I am.
Irina? Polya says, Irina, can I talk to you for a second outside?
Sure.
And Polya walks at you outside, and inside people are sort of laughing and smiling. And
Yeah, and as we're walking out, I say, "Congratulations again. Told you, Volkova. That was some pretty medal-worthy action that you did.
and as you
I
step,
don't know if anyone else could have done it."
and that's what she says to you, Nick, as she's walking out with Polya.
Thank you. That means a lot.
And as you walk outside into the dawn, it was so dark, and you're out there. By the way, Maggie, you're going to fulfill your mark right about now.
Oh yeah, I figure that's what's happening right
Yeah. And as you walk out there and the dawn is rising, you notice that there's maybe oil, right, all over Polya's jumpsuit, flight suit. And she just smiles at you. And then she puts her hand on your shoulder. And then she sort of stumbles against you a little bit.
now. I'll try to catch her.
And you do, and then what you think maybe is oil is warm. And she says, that was a really good flight. I think I got hit. And then she just collapses into your arms.
Why didn't you say anything? And then Irina's just kind of start yelling.
I wanted to see the ceremony. Life's a sukkah. And her eyes roll back in her head, and her head sort of flops.
Yeah,
Inside,
I was trying to hold her up, and I'm like, but what?
she goes,
All this for a ceremony? And she just kind of like tries to carry her to wherever there's, I don't know where like the medical people would be.
the med tent's a little far away because you're out in the middle of nowhere in your creepy, crappy shanty tents.
Irina's gonna be like
right?
yelling, like,
Yep, yelling.
help, anyone, I need a medic. And then she's just gonna run. She's gonna be
Nick
like,
comes busting out of the tent.
fireman, carry, and run.
And you see her carrying Polia, who's just over her shoulder and looks awful.
Oh, no, and starts taking off after them.
And Anastasia's like, what's going on out there? And she sort of tries to go and find out what's happening.
Yeah, Titania will stop her and be like, you stay here, and then kind of go off as well.
And Nick and Irina are running with Polia, who seems out. And when you get to the medical tent, which is much closer to the 218th than it is the 588, when you get there, all the color has drained from her face. And the medical doctor rips open her flight suit, and there's just this huge bit of shrapnel inside her gut. She's been
can help her, right?
bleeding out this entire time. And he looks at her. And he looks at you. And she's got the shallowest of breath. And she just, Irina, squeezes your hand a little bit. And then she lets go.
I squeeze her hand back.
And the doctor says, I'm sorry. Why didn't you bring her to me earlier?
No, you have to help her. I couldn't bring her. I didn't know. She just told me now.
Everyone out. And they usher you out while he tries to go.
Irina's gonna try to stay. She can. She's like, I want to help. What can I do?
And he looks at her and he goes, she's gone.
No, she can't be.
And he turns to Volkova. Maybe you should take your comrade.
Irina, do you want to come with me?
No.
And
Nick actually kind of throws her arms up in the air, just kind of this sort of useless gesture, and walks away.
When is there anything that's on her person?
yes,
Of hers?
there is.
Can I take that?
You can. So, way back in the very beginning of training, she got in trouble for having a St. Barbara's medal. And St. Barbara protects you. It's often pilots will have that as a superstition to protect you. But you're not supposed to have religious symbols because that's a big no-no. And it was confiscated. But clearly, after she'd gone home in between the duty stations, she got another one. And there's this St. Barbara's medal around her neck.
I'm going to take that from her. As they'll probably take it anyway. And I just kind of squeeze her hand again, and then I leave.
And the doctor works to clean her up some. And you go back to your barracks, and Polya doesn't come with you. And you sit there. What do you say when you arrive?
Irina's oddly really quiet.
Is Nick back?
Mm-hmm.
No,
No.
nope. Nick went somewhere else. I have a thought.
Mm-hmm. Where do you go, Nick?
I do go find Mel because I took 2 marks,
Yeah.
and the other mark I took was tell the unvarnished truth.
Before you can find Mel, you run into someone.
Oh, of course I do.
Mm-hmm. You run into Svetlana Sheremetova, who's seems to be in a bit of a rush. And she's looking for someone. And she sees you and she goes, Volkova, come
Yes,
here.
ma'am. Yes.
I've got to go. I have news. Can you tell Petrova?
Sure.
I just got word. Alexei Popov?
Yeah.
He will not be dancing with Anastasia tonight. He left.
He left.
He got permission from his regimental commander, but I just got a cable from him. He's married Lena.
He's what?
He took the train out to the hospital yesterday, and he just cabled me saying that he married her and that he's going to bring her back.
I will pass along the information right now.
With her married, then they'll let her go. They'll let her out of the hospital.
Yeah.
I promised that I would tell Petrova personally, but I need to get on this.
I'll make sure she's informed.
Okay. Just let her know. And
I will.
And she rushes off to sort of deal with this new news that she got through a telegraph that Alexei and Lena have gotten married probably about an hour ago. So you were heading somewhere?
I was,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have, and I will tell, Titania, but she's gonna have to wait a minute.
Really? Tell me, where do you go?
I do go find Mel.
Mel's in the hangar, trying to service the planes that have just come in, and she sees you. Goes, oh, Nick, come on in.
Can we talk for a minute?
Oh, yeah. Privates, carry on. Come with me. And she takes you out of the hangar, and there's like a small, sort of like a supply shed where they sort of keep supplemental supplies, and sort of like a private space. And she takes you in. She goes, "What's wrong?"
Well, Polia's gone.
What do you mean? I just saw her come out of the plane.
She hid the shrapnel that she took. She's gone. She bled out. And I got other news that Lena just got married.
What?
To Alexei. She's coming back.
Lena wouldn't do that.
And that makes everything more difficult.
Why would she do that?
I'm sure the conditions they had her in, she probably would do anything to not be there.
Wow. I thought that I meant something to her.
Well, I'm sure you do. and I don't know what conditions they had her in, and I understand when she's back, that you're going to have a lot to talk about and it might change things, but you mean something to me. And I feel really guilty about that. And more so because Lena's coming back.
Married.
Alexei found out about what was going on. So I'm sure he felt like he needed to do the right thing to help her. He knows her brother. So.
And she kisses you.
And Nick pulls away and she's like, wait. What about Lena?
I don't know.
If you need time, I understand. I mean, it's been these past few months, this has been what's really helped me get through all of this, being with you and around you and spending time. But I know Lena was very special to you, and I know in what way I mean. So I'll do my best to understand either way.
And she hugs you? And just exhales into that moment.
Mm-hmm. And Nick kind of relaxes against her.
She says, "You know what I have?"
I hope you're going to say damn good vodka.
I never get damn good vodka, but I have cigarettes. I have cigarettes.
That'll do.
She pulls out this crumpled pack of cigarettes and she hands you one. Do you want to just stay here in the shed for a while?
Yeah, I'd like that.
And she sort of slides down so that you can sit in this little cramped shed. And she puts her arm around your shoulders. And she says, "Life is life."
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
What's going to happen now? Hey, I want you to know that you've been here for me for the last 7-8 months, and it really means something to me.
I'm glad. I really am.
She just puts her head on your shoulder. Takes a drag from the cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Isn't this a mess?"
Yeah, it's one way of putting it.
Topolia.
She was one of the likable ones.
Yeah. And that is where we're ending our episode at 9 o'clock my time, Eastern time, exactly. So, hey everybody, how are you doing? We have a lot to do later. Next episode, which is going to be Anna Geek's last episode next week, she has got some things to say back on the other end. I would like, I'm gonna give our last, we have our last donation. I want to read it right now first. And this is Dunya Rostova donated $5. Oh, oh my. I feel like this poem, which is from Marina Tsateva from 1917, might be dedicated to Mel and Nick. Oh, sorry. By the way, Mac,
Yes.
take an advance.
I will do so.
Take an advance. I
I
believe.
was willing to let go of that advance with the story, but yeah.
Oh yeah, she's taking advance for stealing something precious from someone else, and if it is that person's lover or future, she gets an advance. So that's an advance for you. And let me read this poem, which I feel like is a very perfect and fitting poem for this moment. A kiss on the forehead erases misery. I kiss your forehead. A kiss on the eyes lifts sleeplessness. I kiss your eyes. A kiss on the lips is a drink of water. I kiss your lips. A kiss on the forehead erases memory. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So everyone, thank you all for being here. That was amazing. Whew. I would like everyone, I'm just like, oh my goodness. I want to eat all the popcorn. I want to thank everyone for being here. That was amazing. I would like all of our wonderful, amazing cast to introduce themselves as we sort of move out of the place. And let's start with Mac, who won't be here next week.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Hi guys, I am Mac Beauvais. I will continue to be Mac Beauvais as far as I'm aware, and you can find me everywhere online as @strange like that. And I won't be here because I'm actually going to be at OrcCon over the next weekend, and so I'm going to be there running a couple of games. Specifically, I'm very excited. I'm going to be running a game of Werewolf the Wild West, set in my own kind of town that I created for that setting called Razor Ridge. So some of you, if you follow Happy Jacks, might know because I ran a whole campaign of Razor Ridge over there. And you can catch me on Monday as well over at Happy Jacks because I'm going to be there playing my shifter bard in a dragon heist game.
Nice. So we're going to just we're going to figure out after this sort of moment of revelation in the tool shed and this claiming something as your own and the unvarnished truth. Nice way to use your marks, my friend. Nice way. Nice way. I love it. We will find out what you're doing next week. Let's go to our next member of our happy crew, Maggie Crone.
Ooh, this was a good one. I do have a question for you though. Are we going to be playing through the part where we like have that party and all that stuff? Okay, because I have a plan with that.
Yes, we will. That's what we're doing next week.
I was like, I need to know this thing. I can't go a week without knowing.
No, we're going to do it. It's going to be so good.
I'm plotting and planning. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I believe this is down here below. I do lots of other tabletop stuff, so if you're interested in that, come check it out. And thank you guys so much for watching this. I've really been enjoying Night Witches a lot.
Sorry about your best friend, Polya. Not really, because I'm a GM. No, I am sorry, because I liked her.
I think it's a good progression moment for Irina.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, she's sort of like you because she's like that kind of tough woman who'd be like, I'm fine, right? And then, yeah. Let's go to Rocket Fox.
Yes, I am Rocket Fox. Same with, I imagine, everyone. I'm absolutely loving Night Witches. I am a cosplayer, gamer, illustrator, speaker, do all sorts of stuff. I also am the president of the board for Superheroines, etc., which our mission is to empower women and people who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. So you can visit us online there, and you can find me at Rocket Fox anywhere. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much. Instagram, I use that more. Yeah, that's me.
And last but not least, who will be here next week, who's got some stuff to do next week, our Anna Geeks.
I also want to say I'm super excited for the guests that we're getting next week too. So I'm sorry that Mac isn't going to be here, but I'm super excited for the guests that we're getting too. So conflicts. I am Anna Geeks. I am the CEO here at GeekSpaceTV, and I am also a full-time variety broadcaster on my own channel. You can find me at Anna Geeks on Twitch and Twitter, Anna Geeks AFK on Instagram. That's me.
I am Trooper SJP, and I am your game moderator for Night Witches, and you can find me on Trooper SJP at Twitch, where I do my variety streaming, and also on Academic Foxhole, where I tweet whatever random nonsense. Don't even ask me. We have one more donation that just snuck in from Korase, who is my GM for Call of Cthulhu, who will be driving my characters insane, and she donated $5 to say, "Yay for actual witchery," because there is some witchery going on tonight. I just want to let you all know, thank you all for being here. And next week, we're going to have Pumpkinberry arrive, who may know something about that mysterious, treasonous treachery that happened. We will also have a talent show. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna make me dance with Anastasia, aren't you?
Well, Alexi's not here right now because, he had to go. He was like, I'm gonna do this practice and I'm leaving.
Character, I think it's hilarious. Arena is gonna hate life.
It's gonna be epic.
But I have an idea with it, and I think it's a good character progression thing.
I just wanted you to dance. It's fine. So that is going to be us. It's going to be, I'm so happy that you were all here. Thank you all for being and enjoying this moment with us. Next week, we're going to have shenanigans. Oh, and by the way, Titania, that marriage makes your lovely, beautiful premonition come true.
Hey.
Good for you. You can advance later. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here. Just to say before we go, thank you for being here. Awesome times to see you all. Be here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
10 p.m. Eastern for Worlds Beyond.
As long as the blizzard doesn't prevent it. Blizzard.
Oh, right.
But
Anna's from the East Coast. She's like, whatever, blizzard.
No, it's not a blizzard.
So come see us on Wednesday for Worlds Beyond, and then next Saturday
Blizzard,
again.
Go talk to my Wisconsin, Illinois friend Blizzard, and
yeah. But look, in Seattle's defense, although I don't live there, I imagine they have maybe 2 snowplows total. And
apparently we have 38. I found out
earlier
today.
because they do get snow.
But very, very rarely, and it usually melts within a day. So we're not really prepared for it. Everybody just kind of stays home. But right now we're getting snow that's spread out over a week and a half. So
oh no.
Fingers crossed that we can do the show on Wednesday. We'll try and figure something out.
I hope so. But either way, we will be here next Saturday for a talent show and for some traitorousness and for the story of what happened at home from our Veronica, and maybe we'll find out about her witchy ways. That's what I want to know. We have some witchy ways. Take care, everyone. And Deceptive Mirror wants her feelings back. I don't know if I can give them back. I think I just took them. They're mine now.
Delicious.
Delicious feelings. Take care, everyone. Fly right.